All right, so market research. So a lot of people come to me when they are wanting to do SEO, or they may be talking about how good they think their SEO is. And I'm like, okay, so what are you ranking for? And they're like, I don't know. Well, what do you want to rank for? I want to rank for this thing. How do you know there's even demand for it? How do you know anything about it? Without doing any research, because that's the first question I ask them is like, okay, have you done market research? Do you know what people are looking for? Do you know all this stuff? And generally the answer is no. So in case you didn't know, you can actually find out what people are searching for, and you can find out the volumes of people who are looking for specific things at Google, and they vary quite a lot. So pretty much if you Google keyword research tools, you'll find a lot of these tools that will do it for you. There's also this free one. I think it's still free. I don't really follow him. I probably wouldn't suggest to follow him, but I probably would suggest not to follow him. But this tool, I believe, is still free. There's also I can't remember, but there's Google Ads as well. You can do some keyword research within that for free. It makes it out to look like it's not free, but it is. But generally what I use is KW Finder from Mangles. It's relatively affordable pricing, around about $29 a month. It should be that's annually, so $49 a month. It should get you basically all you need, and it gives you the whole suite of other things, like a range of other SEO tools. So they give you KW Finder, a like basically a search engine results page checker, SERP checker, and then a watcher, so to track things, which we'll explain a bit later. Same as these, we'll explain a bit later, but generally it gives you some basic tools to help you for $50 a month. It's pretty good. If you're going to pay any more, then just go for something like Ahrefs or SEMrush. That should get the job done pretty much. So SEMrush is another SEO tool, same as Ahrefs as well. They're a bit more on the expensive side, around about 100 or so, 900 and whatever USD a month. And yeah, they're a full-on SEO tool. There's other ones you can get for free. They're all more or less do the same job. This is what I prefer. This is what I'll be using in the training. So if you want to grab it, then go ahead. You can't go wrong with it, really. You'll be able to get what you need out of it. Okay, so with all that being said, let's start looking at it. Go away pricing. I just want to go to the app. There we go. Right, so what we can do is we can set our location as being New Zealand and start typing in some things that you think people would look for. So in this case, we are going to search for, so we'll go car detailing. See what comes up. Keep in mind, this is just New Zealand, like all of New Zealand. Okay, so what we got here is an overview of what's currently ranking on the front page of Google for that. So most likely wherever you're searching from, you'll see similar results if you just type in car detailing. Maybe a bit more personalized, but in general, that's what you'll probably see. And so it tells you the keyword, gives you the average monthly search volume, and then some other information as well, like cost per click if you've got average cost, estimated cost per click, if you're going to be doing some Google ads as well. So that's always worthwhile doing too. Difficulty score, probably don't really look at that. These metrics are okay, but they're just metrics. Google does not look at these, like aside from maybe links, and yeah, that's about all that they would look at. So these calculations are based off stuff that Google doesn't necessarily look at, and it's somewhat helpful, somewhat not, but it gives you a rough idea anyways. But the purpose of this is just to get some ideas around what we're dealing with, and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to be a bit more specific and go to Taranaki. And then we'll make that search. And you'll see the volumes change quite significantly, right? So best detailing and car detailing, if you sort it by order of volume, probably a rough idea about what it is. Another thing to do is just to look in your area and type in the search results. So I'm just using a clean web browser with no history or anything, so I don't get any personalized results, and it's a private browser as well. So car detailing, I have to put that in because I'm in Auckland, and this will be more or less what comes up when you type that. So we've got a map result, which is the Google My Business listing, which we will cover later on, and some search results too. So we can see there's a Facebook page ranking #1, not #1, but on the front page. So what have we got? Basically what we're going to do is look at what shows up. So we got these guys showing up, top 2 results. Then this other company, a Facebook page, got a like coupon, grab one, deals page, directory listing, another business. People also ask another business, and then some ads. So depending on the time of day, you'll probably see ads at the top as well. And because I'm in Auckland. Okay, so that's the one that shows up for like 20 searches a month. So I'll just, why can't I spell Taranaki? Okay, there we go. All right, so it's NA, but what are we gonna do? It'll be more than likely, if you rank for car detailing and your website is targeted towards that region, you're probably going to show up for both of those keywords anyway. In these situations where the volumes are quite low and also the cost per click is quite low, so we can see like $20 per click. That's cheap ads. Could be good to run a Google Ads campaign first, so that you don't have to go through and do all this SEO work, only to find out that there's no volume in your market, or you're targeting the wrong keywords that don't generate traffic. With ads, you can pretty much set up a basic ad campaign, get some data coming back from that, spend like, 300 to 500 to 1,000, depending on your competition levels and all that sort of stuff, and get a really good idea about what keywords actually generate clicks and impressions and all that sort of thing as well. So I do recommend that to clients, that they do that. So Taranaki, I was doing some research before, but the other thing we'll do is just go to maps and just take a look at the area, because I don't believe I've actually been there. I'm up in Auckland. So we'll go down here. Oops, a bit too far. So we've got all these like smaller towns and stuff, and then New Plymouth is like probably one of the bigger ones, I would say, and that is where we're more than likely going to start our targeting. But we can actually have pages for each of these as well, which may be part of what we would do, just because why not? And even if there's no volume, 1 or 2 people might search it, and then they all add up. So we'll start here, I think. It's looking like the biggest part of Taranaki. In case you aren't familiar, Taranaki actually covers this, like pretty much this entire region. So we've got, if we're wanting to take over all of that, we've got a lot of opportunities. I'd probably say that the bigger towns are the ones that show up when you do that. New Plymouth is probably the main one. Actually, we'll just go population of New Plymouth. Yeah, so decent size. So if we go after that, we're going to get some leads. So if we go New Plymouth, 20 again. Let's see what happens if we set it to NZ. 30. So some people outside of the Taranaki region that are searching for that too. As we go back to that, car detailing, I think it was also car valet. 1L, 2 L's. 1L, 1L. Guys, learn to spell. All right, so that's 80. Sweet. So that would probably be, I think we're going to start with this one. We've got 80 volume, car valet New Plymouth, it's service they offer and it's the location that they offer is that they target as well. And looking at this, I know I said don't worry about the competition in this and the difficulty, but there's a lot of green, so it's indicating that there's pretty much no competition. And I can tell just because there's a Facebook page ranking. So how hard is it to get a Facebook page ranked in Google? It's pretty much just indicating that there's not enough competition, not enough good results for Google to show. So if we start beating a lot of these guys with some better, providing some better options for Google, then Google's going to like it, right? So, right. Next thing you would want to do is start looking at your competitors. Aside from the directories and stuff, you want to find and list all of the actual competitors that show up. So these guys are number one. We'll do it in the search result. So we'll go car valet. Spelled it right that time. And obviously I'm doing this a little bit more brief to keep the thing shorter, but you would want to go through and spend probably a few hours or so just researching and putting together a list. They allow you to store lists and stuff like that as well. So you can save keywords and get a nice selection of keywords that and opportunities there. So that's definitely worthwhile doing. So you know the market, you know what you're looking for and what where the demand is. So you can find it some kind of starting point, right? Okay, so next step would be to actually take a look at some of these websites. So skip the Facebook page in the directory, car groomers. I know front page. Yeah, so these are probably going to be the top competitors. So CarSpar again. Google will only rank 2 pages unless it's really no competition. These guys, and basically what we're doing is taking a look at these sites to see what they have on there, so we have an idea about what we should be doing to replicate it. Because Google, where Google works is they want to give people the best result they can for what they're looking for, right? So if you want to beat these guys, the guys on the top, and get to the front page, well, how do you do that? The answers are right in front of you. You're looking at the answers to what you need to do. So if you're not looking at them, how are you even going to be able to compete? So you need to find out your competition, find out what you're up against, and look at ways that they are, what they have on their site, what they have on their pages, how big their website is, how trusted they might be, where they're located, all of that stuff, and just start making notes around what types of things they have on their pages. Like these guys have a range of different services, quite a few images and stuff. These guys had a lot of content, and their homepage was a bit more content heavy. Some book now options, some images, content, certified installer, logo. They got some social profiles, stuff like that. And whatever it is has a screwed up site. So I don't think we're going to have too much trouble, really. Tasman Toyota. Obviously, it's Toyota, so it's a big brand, but I'd say this is a smaller website. And would you look at that? I don't even think that's content. I think it's just an image. Yep. Okay, don't do that. Google can read content and images, but still don't do that. Oh my god. Okay. Some sliders with some, okay, they got some content, which is probably why they're winning. Well, they're not winning, but they're doing better than us because they're on somewhat on the front page. So they got some stuff here, which is all good. Quite image heavy. It looks like the site is quite chunky as well, so I'm guessing these images are huge. They got some trust signals and stuff like that. So yeah, basically, we do a better job, we're gonna get better results, right? So we know our competition is not very high. What I would look for is, okay, might be a good exercise just now. It's to do Auckland. Oops. To show you some actual results, then things that I would look at. So these guys are #1 in Auckland, right? Cafe. They're the same competitors, right? Oh no, Cast Bar. Okay, sweet. It's like, how are they in Auckland? Sweet. So you can see the quality is a lot, like there's more detail. So these sites are a lot better. It's not like amazing because it's just Car Valley. It's nothing too special. They probably haven't done too much SEO. But quality is better. They got some nice sites there, top 2. Then Caprice, Express, Shays. So if you want to get a good idea around, if you're like in a smaller town and you don't have these sites are crap. How can I model and do a better job in these? Just look at a bigger city. So go to Auckland and see what they're doing. Because if you replicate what the guys in Auckland are doing for your town, you've then set the standard to have a much better site. So I think we're essentially going to copy some of these, not copy, but replicate the way that they're doing things and the structure and stuff like that. So it's really easy to read. Mailing list, we probably won't have that. Some sponsorships probably won't have those, but reviews and all that sort of thing is all worthwhile. These guys have an issue. So you get the point. We're replicating what they're doing, finding out what they're doing, finding out all the different types of signals that they have on their sites, and just making notes. So do they have reviews? Do they have services, contact form, social media, a lot of the basic stuff, their address, their phone numbers. Do they look trustworthy? Is the site loading fast? All that sort of stuff. Yeah. So that's some of the research. So that's what I would do. And then we would want to look at what pages we would then have to build out, because you're not going to rank one page for everything. So your homepage, even though these guys are ranking their homepage, it's indicating there's very little competition. You're wanting to have separate pages for the separate services that you're targeting or that you're offering. So these guys are doing car valet, car detailing, and they're probably going to sell cars as well, but I don't think they're going to do that on the site. So those are 2 services, and then the different locations. So they're going to have car valets New Plymouth, car detailing New Plymouth, car valets Stratford, car detailing Stratford. So we're going to start building out some of these target pages and optimize them for the target locations, and we'll build it out from there. So yeah, that's a bit of the research stuff. Definitely suggest you check out this tool and have a look through it. There's some really cool stuff that the other tools have as well that are quite useful if you're just getting started. It's nice, clean, fast, easy to load and easy to look at, and you can get a lot of data from it too. So it's quite cool. yeah, next video I think we're going to do is to start setting up some of the data tracking, so like Google Analytics, Search Console, and all that sort of thing, and show you some cool stuff around that. And we'll go from there. Any questions, just let me know.